Looks like I'm not getting a single break tonight because we are already in the semifinals here. It is game number one, and the progress on tonight's Competo Cup is a really, really fast one. We have Slider, who is playing against Tarson. Tarson just defeated Deister pretty, let's just say, one-sided. I mean, it was not like he just ruffle stomped him, but he was able to hold off the important pushes by Deister, meanwhile having his pushes being a little bit more efficient, which in the end gave him the macro advantage. But now it is time to see how he will play against Tarson. Against Slider, and we saw Tarson playing a TVT. Now it is time to see how his TVP is. Tarson here spawning on Icy Caponry at the bottom right, and once again, the Polish players dominating in today's Competo Cup. Once again, those two guys talking all the way in Polish. So, of course, we already saw that a lot of. And here, Avantgarde, our personal translator, thank you very much. Just keep on giving us the information of what those guys are saying. It's appreciated. So, Slider here in the top left as the blue Terran. Did I say Terran? Of course, I'm in Protoss. Yeah. So it's Pawnry, and looks like Slider needs to pause once again. And of course, if you want to pause a game, you only have 3 pauses available. And Slider was complaining about the game speed. So, and it looks like he wants to remake. This is really interesting. So now he's asking for a remake. But if nobody sets anything other on the settings, the game speed is always fastest. Doesn't just say the okay. Yes, it looks like the speed is wrong. He's even apologizing. That's very nice of him. So yeah, just leave the game. Yes, I left the game for a second. I was not 100% sure. So yeah, just wait for the lobby to be opened once again, and then we should get going. And by the way, Tarson is one of the few people having the Zeratul picture, and the Zeratul picture was one of the first pictures I had, and then I decided that Arcturus Mensk, the Emperor, the nicest people, nicest person, I would have said on Earth, but the nicest person in the universe, actually. He wants to have peace in the universe. He just wants to have free his people. He wants to defend his own people against the bad products and against the bad Zerg players. Actually, I'm a Zerg player, but Arcturus Mensk, he's a baller. It's like the Horde in the Warcraft series, or like the Empire in Star Wars. They are the good guys. And I'm one of the good guys as well. So looks like this game is starting once again, and speed is now faster. So here we have the right game speed. So GLHF will be called pretty soon, and there we go once again. So, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, meine Damen und Herren, señores et señoras, mesdames et carré, Tarson left the game. So, yeah, this was try number 2. So, the third is the charm. So let's see where try number 3 will bring us. Meanwhile, Nurture is in the lobby as well, but we will most likely see him a little bit later, because yes, I decided to go for Tarson against Slider here. The speed was only faster, not fastest. Oh, was it? Is faster the fastest speed? I'm not sure or which is the correct speed, but because I never changed it, so it's always right. But I think faster is the correct term. So GLHF is called. And yeah, there we go. So I'm not doing an introduction once again, let's just keep it real. And Slider is lagging. Slider has left the game. So this was try number 3. Will we see try number 4 as well, or just going to cast another game? But looks like Nurture started his game like 1 minute ago, but he left his game 1 minute ago. So just trying to find out what's wrong there. And if this is not going to work, I will just have to cast another game, even though I want to cast a little bit of more Tarson games, because Tarson is an awesome person and actually a really, really good player, bringing his game absolutely tonight. So it looks like Slider wants some people to leave, but um, Flash will leave the game pretty soon as well, and then it's just 2 casters left. Finally, are we able to go? Yes, speed looks okay. People still in the game, and Flash will just post that is the game number 1 of the semi-final, number 2 on tonight's Competo Cup, number 34, and then he will leave the game. We have Slider playing against Tarson here in this first game. Tarson spawning as the yellow Terran player on the bottom right, finally against his opponent Slider, the blue Protoss players in the top left. So TVP it is. And it is Icy Carpoonery, of course, a very safe natural expansion, and interesting to access. Second expansion, a lot of open areas here in the middle location with 2 gold expansions and 2 normal expansions, but the normal expansions here in the center location. I never saw someone taking any of those expansions, by the way, not in a single game, and like I said in the chat already, I cast like over 70 games. From time to time I saw a player going for a second expansion, but never like 90% of the time only saw 2 base against 2 base, and that's about it. So I know that for example Beastie, and he told me a lot of other pro players do not really like this map, and they do not some people do not like Test Bug, but personally I love Test Bug. It's an awesome map, even though Tal'Darim Altar is an even more better map. But now there we see semi-final, best of 3, round number 1, and Flash will leave this game pretty soon, I guess. Anyway, now I even forget what I was talking about. Yeah, a lot of players don't like this map because the ramp to access your own second expansion is so much more smaller than the big ramp. Just imagine a Protoss player moving in here, the big ramp, having no problem to access your base, and just 1 sentry is enough to constantly force feed the shit out of this stairway here, and boom, expansion is gone, so very hard to defend. And even you can drop some units here on the high ground. This makes this map really 2 base oriented. Never saw someone took either of those 4 expansions here in the center. So maybe even though I'd like some new smaller maps, maybe some other smaller maps will be added in the future, and thank God I have a saying what maps will be used here in the tournament. Maybe I will be able to get a Crossfire SE, or even the dual side map, which was used in the recent GSL Team League and on the World Championships in Korea Gomp TV recently, and especially this dual site map, I liked it quite a lot. So because only having those super huge macro maps, not always the best idea if you have some really tactical maps like Crossfire, for example, which is not too big of a map but it has an interesting architecture. By the way, it's only a remake. This Crossfire map is, I'm not sure if I pronounced this correctly, but it's from StarCraft 2, StarCraft 1 from the Brood War days. Iktu Biktur, Simtu Biktur, something like this. But a really interesting name, but this is just a remake from the old StarCraft 1 map, of course, with the StarCraft 2 features like the gold mineral expansions, like the Xel'Naga watchtowers. So a very tactical, very interesting map. And but this game now is played on test bugs, so let's see where this is going. And Tarson was moving back with his SCV, and actually this was the SCV he still had here in his base, where he was scouting out what's up with Tarson's base, who was going for the with Slider's base, who's going for a one gate, got a second gate up, and he's got a robo right now. I'm saying it's a remake because Tasteless Natos is always saying this is a remake, so I'm just quoting those guys, if I'm not mistaken here. So Slider went for one gate expand into another gate into the robo facility, and there we see another gateway and even another gateway. So 4-gate robo out of 2 bases it will be. Meanwhile, what is Tarson doing? He's got the 111, and this starport he's going to produce a Raven. He was supply blocked for a short period of time, but now with him not being supply blocked, we see he's able to get more SCVs, Ravens, Marines, and tanks. So tank Marine it is for Tarson at the moment. And I was criticizing the build a little bit of Tarson before that, but actually he was able to prove me wrong all the time. So I will not say anything about the builders because yeah, let's see where he's going with this. And now salvaging the Sparker, getting back the 100 minerals to free up some more minerals to get more stuff, because maybe he's going for a powerful one base push, and the Raven of course is an indicator for this. And now he's going for a Banshee, and I really like this, like what he's doing, because this Raven Marine tank Banshee build is one of the most powerful one base PvT builds there actually is. I mean, it's sort of all-inish because yes, a one base is less than 2 bases, and there we see the second base for Slider is up. He's happily chrono boosting his Nexus, sneak peeking a little bit with the Hellion Tarson as right now. But having the 2 bases up and having a 34 against 29 SCVs is a good amount of units to have, and Tarson will pretty soon move out with his forces. Actually, he's moving out right now. Of course, Observer will get taken out. The Raven, a very good talent to have to detect some cloaked and hidden units. And let's see where this is going. So now we see some gateway units, but all those gateway units will simply be not enough. No need for Tarson to actually siege up his tanks, even though he actually cannot siege up with his tanks. Some force fields being placed, but of course those 3 force fields not enough. What about the siege mode? Siege mode is about to finish now. That's why he sieged up with his tanks. Banshee trying to take out more forces. Tarson needs to watch out for the Raven. Dropped the point defense drone just a second before the Raven was about to go down. Now repairing the Raven right away, so still got the point defense drone, even though the maximum range of the point defense drone is only in that area, but still he can be able to capitalize from it quite a bit. Now the tanks here sieged up in the back, doing more and more damage. The 3 SCVs going down so fast, but now with this first Colossus out, it's looking a little bit better here for Slider. But Tarson having the 3 siege tanks now all attacking the Colossus going down, and now it's time for the Marines to clear up the rest. And that's about it. GG is called. So a very powerful one base timing push, having the Banshees in addition to the Raven, the siege tank, the Marines, and of course the SCVs to act as a buffer and to repair stuff. And lately I was not seeing too many Terran players going for this one base play, and like 70-80% of the time I was seeing this one base play, it was working out. And just remember the game of the GSL Team League when MMA from Slayers was playing against MC. This was exactly the same build. So yeah, props to Tarson being up 1-0. Game number 2 coming up right away.